Are we live? Yes, we are. What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, Kidblue watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers. This man Kidblue just left. It's Kush back at it again with another episode of the Young Guns podcast. As you guys saw that live, right? This man was just here and then he disappeared. What was that?
I went to go open up YouTube to open up your stream, and I accidentally did not hit new tab. I just went off the.
How do you
thing.
accidentally go out? Okay, cool. Shout out to Logan in the chat, Jay in the Champ, Cresley, Ligma, welcome in everybody. You already know what the deal is. I gotta look back at my soundboard so I make sure I press the correct one.
This is a certified hood classic.
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys?
Ligma says hasn't seen me in a fat minute. It's been because I didn't really get anything out Monday or Tuesday. I was busy. I did get a video out today, which is Wednesday, and then Young Guns. So because I couldn't do a stream yesterday, I'll be doing the call-in stream tomorrow. So yeah, we just shifted it 2 days over. We'll be back on track, man. What's up, yo, Kidblue? How's it going, man? What's up with you?
It's been good. It's been good. I haven't posted in like 2 weeks or so. I've just been enjoying family over. It's kind of taking like a vacation, but here at the same place. So like I don't know. But we're getting back on track. Yeah, staycation. There you go. That's a good term for it. But we're getting back on track now. We got the game. We got the Tampa Bay game. I'll be going to that game this Monday night. I'm excited, but at the same time, I hope I'm not in for some disappointment because, we're facing Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. But I am excited, and what a way to come off the bye, huh? What a way to come off the bye.
I think talking Giants, or at least Bobby will be there since he's in Florida as well. They're probably gonna do something in the parking lot. Definitely be cool to go over there, meet up with them. T6 in here, Luann, Joseph Clark. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Even though we've had a bye week, not much happening. To be honest with you, there was a little bit of news in the past couple days regarding injuries and whatnot. So obviously we have that to talk about. We could talk. Actually, no, I'm not gonna steer it that way because I'm tired of talking about Odell. But in his first game with the Rams, Matthew Stafford for some reason looked like he was still a Detroit Lion. And the Rams, they've lost 2 straight games after like becoming the paper champions and getting Von Miller and Odell. That was kind of hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. But what do you want to talk about first, though, man? Anything NFL wide that I'm missing?
Well, I guess to remain in the NFC East, I mean, the Cowboys are on a tear. I mean, I know, like, everybody talked about their offense and how good they can be, but I guess we underestimated, like, how average they need their defense, because their defense isn't fantastic, but it's definitely a lot better than what it was last year, and you're seeing it pay off in, like, huge dividends. Now they're like the best team in the NFC right now. You would put them above the Bucks? No, I'm saying, like, isn't stat wise they're the best in the NFC right now? I think they got 2 losses right now. But
you talking about like ranking offense and ranking defense together?
No, I'm just talking about as a record right now.
Oh, as a record, dude, they have 2 losses.
I think they're tied for first. I think they're tied for first in the NFC right now.
Yeah,
or tied. Yeah.
The Rams, I think, also have 2 losses. Okay, so Cardinals have 2 losses, but they're 8-2, and the Packers have 2 losses. They're 8-2. Then it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, so I mean they're right up there, man, and it's obviously Dak Prescott coming back is a huge payoff. Ezekiel Elliott is starting to like kind of slowly get back to Ezekiel Elliott again, game by game. So I mean, right now it looks like Dallas is going to run away with this division, and it's up to us to up to the New York Giants to try to get this wild card spot. It really, I mean, although I guess statistically, right? Because if we want to go by statistics nowadays. According to like some sources, I forgot what it was in particular. I think it was PFF maybe. But I think we had like a 3.7 chance of making the playoffs, which seems probably accurate. But at the same time, those chances can jump if we somehow beat the Buccaneers and teams like
I'll tell you what,
the
though,
Panthers lose, the Falcons lose.
You know why we can't hope for that? Because we had a bye week, and we just need a couple of those teams to lose. And every single team that we need to lose won. Not a single one of them lost the game. Every single team won their games,
including Washington.
Yeah,
including freaking Washington, dude. Now that bumps us to 4th right now in the East, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're currently 4th. Yeah,
that's great. Golly, we can't catch a break over here, man. It's like we're out of the basement, then 1 week later we're back in it.
Yeah.
Golly.
Oh man, Luan says let's kick butt for the second half. We had Brady last season. We had that game, but lost. The Giants will beat Dallas at home. T6 says we will take care of Philly for you guys. Thank you, man. I hope you do. I hope that
Dude, I hope you do, man.
the
Because
Saints won. I think the Falcons won, right?
The Falcons did win.
Like,
No. The Falcons got killed by Dallas.
Okay, so they're the only team that lost that we needed to lose.
Yeah, they're 4-5 right now. We could find a way to win against the Buccaneers. Of course, we would have, I guess, the same record as them, but they would still have the tiebreaker on us, which sucks.
Oh yeah, the Vikings won. They were supposed to lose against the Chargers. Oh my God, I think the Panthers won, right? And they were supposed to lose. Like, come on, bro.
It's not looking good for us too.
Oh yeah, the Panthers killed the Cardinals. It was ridiculous. Like there was a bunch of upsets.
Kyler. It was without Kyler, but still.
You still had the rest of the team.
Yeah, that defense let up 31 points to like random. Like, I mean, Cam Newton's back, but like Cam Newton's just like hasn't played football in like a year, and he just comes up and just kills the Cardinals defense. But on top of that, I think PJ Walker put in some work as well. So I was like, the Cardinals defense definitely suspect now.
And then speaking of Cam, it's speculated that he will start next week because then he'd have like 2 weeks to try and get the playbook in his head a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But it's ridiculous how much just one dude could inspire the rest of the team, because that's what it looked like when the Cardinals were playing.
It did, right?
Panthers,
it did. Like, they were really playing for the guy, man. And on top of that, I guess it helps that Christian McCaffrey comes back. Christian McCaffrey.
He had a good comeback game.
Every time Christian McCaffrey, like, this is what I want from Saquon, man. Like, I get these guys get hurt often. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. They're on our team right now. But, like, when Christian McCaffrey comes back from an injury where he misses, like, 10 games, the man just goes off. Like, that's what I want from Saquon. Like,
he picks up right where he leaves off.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I want in this game, man. The Buccaneers let up a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns to running backs. Like, running backs kill this team. And it's crazy because for, like, 3 years in a row, Tampa has, like, one of the best like run stuffing defenses, but now this year it's not the case. And this year I think the running backs are doing a number on the Bucs defense. So hopefully Saquon Barkley can do something with that. I know Devontae Booker's dealing with the hip issue that he was dealing with since that Raiders game. And I think we signed another running back to the practice squad, Jonathan Williams or something like that, from the Washington practice squad. And I think Gary Brightwell's back, right?
Yeah, Gary Brightwell has been activated from the COVID-19 list.
Okay.
Hopefully, and then Andrew Thomas was designated to come off of the IR. That doesn't mean he's necessarily back. I think he is going to be, but it's not an official he's back for Tampa Bay. He's just off of IR.
Gotcha.
And then the thing is, with every single player that has been on IR, I'm pretty sure if they go on it again, that's it for the season. Like, if you go on IR twice, you're done for the season, right?
I would say yes, but I feel like the rules keep changing. Like, they keep changing the rules based on when COVID hit and when they updated the freaking CBA.
Well, that's why there was a difference between the IR and then COVID-19 list. There is a COVID-19 list.
Right. But they also have because they never had it where you can designate a player to return midway through the season and have them come back in 3 weeks or something like that. Like they just started doing that. So I don't know how the rules go now, but I mean, I think it's working out for the better, though. It's really making you play chess with your roster a little bit. You take a player off, put him on IR for 3 weeks, and instead of shutting them down for a whole season, you could put them on a designated return list, and they could come back in 3 weeks. But I don't know how that works.
Shout out to Zachary in here. He said, "Why did Washington have to beat Tampa?" I don't know, man. I'm asking myself the same question, and they look good beating Tampa too. Tampa looked like an inferior team.
That was crazy, man. Taylor Heineke got his revenge, man. Because remember, he started that game in the playoffs, and although despite all of his efforts where he looked like a franchise quarterback out there, they lost, and now he's came back with a vengeance, man. And that was an at-home win, and that I'm sure.
Bro, the entire Washington squad, offense, defense, special teams, looked better than the Bucs. It was crazy.
Yeah, I know, and I guess I'm not really going to make an excuse for the Buccaneers because they had a beat-up receiving core. I mean, AB was out, Gronk was out, Godwin was hurt, Mike Evans. I mean, I don't know. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. He's like Jekyll and Hyde. But, I mean, you got to find a way to win games, especially against one of the worst defenses in the league this year, and that's Washington. Brady has to find a way to overcome that, and I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
Well, I think we have a Bucks fan in here just going by his name, Bucks Skull Gang in the house. And from his couple of comments, he's saying the football team's looking good. The Bucks are in trouble because the Bucks play bad against bad teams, basically. I don't know how much. I don't know how much to take against that because he's saying the Giants are gonna win against them. I don't know, bro.
Hey, I guess at that, because I know a couple Bucks fans down here, and they're hard on their team because their team just started winning. So of course they feel like their team is still the same old team that loses these type of games. But hey, this is a different team, so I'm not gonna flat out say that we're just gonna beat the Buccaneers now. Despite what their fans say, because obviously they're not used to winning like this. But I will say, last season we came damn near close to winning, and this is the game that I circled in the offseason. This is the game because not only is this a rematch, but it's in the same venue and it's also on the same day.
No,
Monday
it's not.
Night
We're
Football.
we're at Tampa Bay. Last year we were at home.
Oh, we were at the Giants last time?
Yeah,
sure?
it was at MetLife last year.
Okay. Despite that, it's on Monday night again. The Giants have a terrible primetime appearance win-loss record. So this is a chance to redeem that. Now we're going to Tampa. Tampa historically, Tampa, this is before Brady's era, I guess. But historically, Tampa's a terrible home team. Like, they were a terrible home team. That's ever since I lived here. They always lost at home. But every time I've went to a Tampa game, I think they've won besides one of them. But I've been here to see the Giants win over here, and I hope we see it again. There's a
the last time the Giants played in Tampa was the Daniel Jones first starting game.
Right. And guys, it's any given Sunday really, because if you look at that Raiders win that we had, they were scoring 30 points a game after John Gruden left for 2 weeks straight. Even against the Eagles, our rivals, they scored over 30 points in those 2 games. I don't know who they played the other game, but then we went ahead and beat them. So any given Sunday, man, any given Sunday, we came to a 2-point conversion last season against this football team that we're about to face up against, and one that I think was the right call. I know a lot of people will say we should have got that penalty and they picked it up or whatever, but I think in hindsight it looked like the right call by the refs. But we were that close, man. And Daniel Jones was trying to lose that game. You know what I'm saying? But he's obviously, let's be real and non-biased here. I mean, Daniel Jones is definitely a better quarterback than that time, because that was when he was starting to get into the groove a little bit. And towards the end of that season, last season, he was starting to look like the Daniel Jones we're seeing now. Although Daniel Jones doesn't look like super fantastic, he's definitely done a lot better with securing the football and making better throws and making, I guess, better decisions. So maybe, with this new and improved Daniel Jones, maybe we find a way to win this game.
Hopefully. And then let's see here, Scorpio Emperor King, what's up, man? Shout out to you. Sam Castle in here. Sam says we're not making the playoffs, fellas. I wish it's not happening. I'm inclined to agree with that statement, but I'll say what I said at the beginning of the year, man. When we're mathematically eliminated, we're mathematically eliminated.
Right,
you know
right. And here's the thing, like, I've of course been a I guess contributor in this. But especially going back to my younger years as a Giants fan, I would be one to bash my team in front of everybody. But then the moment we win a game, I'm like, we're making the playoffs. I'm seeing that all over Twitter now. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of frustrated with it because, like, there's certain, like, Giants fans that I see on Twitter every single day bashing this team, bashing Gettleman, bashing Judge, bashing Daniel Jones. And then we win a game against the Raiders, or we win a game against the Saints, and then now they're all of a sudden, they're on the Giants train, and man, this team looks unstoppable almost. And man, I just want us to settle down, and why can't we just say, damn?
Wow, let's get a winning streak.
Yeah, that was a pretty good win. That was focusing on winning consecutive games. Like everybody's talking about playoffs. We're 3-6 right now, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got a long way to go, guys. Let's just try to get ourselves another win. And then we could talk about the playoffs. Now we beat a good team. We beat two good teams in the Raiders and the Saints, and they were out of division. That's great. That's good. That's a step forward in the right direction. Because since Daniel Jones has been a starting quarterback for the Giants, I think we've only beat like 4 other teams before these two teams, right? Out of division.
Yep.
So that is sad. But we're moving in the right direction. So that's something we can hang our hat on. But let's not push freaking playoffs here, because we still got teams like Carolina and the freaking Falcons ahead of us, and Minnesota, and I think the Saints are in a wild card spot too, because the Bucks are in the lead in that division. So, guys, we've got tons of way to go. We are like far from playoff talks right now, far from it. So I'm just hoping we win this game, dude. I'm just hoping we win this game, and then maybe I'll indulge in some playoff talk.
And let's see here, other stuff from the chat. Chance Foster, what's up, man? He's in here. Scorpio says, I truly believe the Giants will be dominant the second half. The team will be back to full health and with some luck. Now, here's the problem with your statement. We don't know if the team's going to be back to full health. We would like for them to be back to full health, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, I mean, teams are never 100%. And you saw Kadarius Tony's face in that.
And shout out to Levance in here too, by the way.
Yeah, Levance, what's going on, man? But yeah, nobody's really ever 100%, especially in football. But you hope these guys are coming back healthy. Like, obviously, I guess what he's trying to say is that we're getting most of our guys back together. It should be a full roster for the first time in a while, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, Sterling Shepard probably. Huh?
Nick Gates and Shane Lemieux are out for the year.
No, I'm talking about skill position. I'm sorry. I'm talking about skill positions.
I was about to say, I don't know what the thing is on Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, I don't know what the what's going on with Sterling, but I know Kenny Golladay should be back. Kadarius looks like he's going to be back. We're hoping Andrew Thomas is going to be back, although he's not skill position, but he's still a major part of the offense. You know, who else out there? Saquon should be back. We don't know what's going on with Devontae Booker, but we should have a good group. Like, we're definitely going to have a better offense on paper than when we came out against the Raiders, right? Like we're definitely going to have a better offense. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. Then we hold up. There was something else real here. Okay, it's just Bucks. This Bucks fan is really, really feeling down on his team. I mean, I guess 2 losses would do that to you a little bit.
Yeah,
go ahead. I was gonna say, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. So is it true that, I mean, the Bucks did lose 2 straight so far, right?
Let me just pull up their record. Bucks. So they lost against Washington and they lost against the Saints. Yeah, and they had the bye week in between.
So I see. Here's the thing.
Listen, I was telling Kidblue before the stream. I was like, we got to face Tom Brady after a loss. He doesn't lose two weeks in a row. He technically lost 2 weeks ago, but there was a bye in between, all right?
Right.
He's not – yo, listen. And people are going to call me crazy. People are going to call me a Brady stan, which I'm the exact opposite of. But it's like proven, bro. It's like science. 2 weeks in a row. It don't happen. Science. It doesn't happen like that, man.
Yeah, man. Like, you think about it. Think about this. Tom Brady has not won in 3 weeks. He's pissed. Okay.
Yeah, in his press conferences, he's just like, I'm focused on the game. He's not giving like 1-word answers and stuff.
And you know how he is against the Giants. I mean, like, he either destroys us or he gets beat by us. I mean, he's just like, when it comes to that NY and the helmet, even though we have the Giants on the helmet, we're wearing the good old color rush jerseys in this game. There's something about this team that fires him up, or something about this team, because obviously he lost against us twice. But that scares me. That worries me. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get a down in the dumps Tom Brady who's just gonna suck because he lost 2 weeks in a row, or are we gonna get a fired up Tom Brady because he lost 2 weeks in a row? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what kind of Brady you're gonna get. I'm hoping that their struggles continue. I'm hoping. I don't know if Gronk's coming back in this game. I don't know if Antonio Brown's coming back in this game. I don't know if Chris Godwin's going to be healthy in this game. I don't know any of this. One thing I will say is that their offensive line has been playing extremely well this season. And, that's all thanks to, their guard Ali Marpet, their star young tackle in Tristan Wirfs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they still have freaking old Donovan Smith still at left tackle, which I think we need to get Aziz on him immediately because I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with a youth like Aziz Ojulari.
A youth.
I think, yeah, a youth player like Aziz Ojulari because Donovan Smith is old. I got Bucks fans everywhere where I work, and they all hate Donovan Smith. I don't even know if he's still a tackle for them. But what's going on, Authentic?
Shout out to
What's going
Authentic
on?
in here. Oh yeah, we got the Rant Osman in here as well. I was, scrolling through Twitter to see if there's anything I'm missing. Of course, Gwen Stacy is trending because of the new Spider-Man trailer. Which I mean, it's a trailer, so it's not really a spoiler in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? They had MJ falling like the way Gwen Stacy fell and died. So
Okay.
listen, bro, I guarantee it, bro. It's gonna be Andrew Garfield Spider-Man that end up saving her. He's gonna have some redemption. He gonna save the other universe's MJ, bro. That trailer was good.
It
what
was
else
good.
was good?
Dude, I love. You know what the best thing about that trailer was?
What?
What they did to Electro.
Oh yeah,
That was
the electricity
fire.
even came up, right?
I like how they did it.
Yep.
Like instead of making him put a corny freaking uniform on, they made that freaking and they changed the color because he was blue in the damn Andrew Garfield one.
Listen,
But,
man, I'm very hyped for that movie, bro.
Yeah.
You know they edited
great.
out Toby's
The
and Andrew's
Spider-Mans.
Spider-Man. Yeah, they
Yes,
edited them out in the trailer.
When Lizard and Sandman
Yeah.
are going. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I noticed that before people were noticing that. I'm like, why the hell is Lizard like freaking like jumping down and the Spider-Man's up there? Like, what the hell's going on here? They must have edited them out, man.
Listen, bro. You know what else has been fun, bro? Halo Infinite has been extremely fun.
I heard they freaking surprise launched, dude.
They surprise launched multiplayer. I've been playing it today.
I gotta
and
go
yesterday.
download it. I have to go download
In fact,
it.
after the stream, I'm hopping back on and playing, bro.
Facts,
It's
well,
the
if I download it in
multiplayer is
time-
only on the Series X. It's only like 20 gigs too, so it's gonna take like
Okay.
10
If I
minutes.
download
to
it in time, I'll hit you up.
Bet. But to get back to the Giants of football here, Authentic says we losing. Remains to be seen, but I'm kind of on that sentiment. Well, all right, man. How do we beat these Bucks team, man? How did the Washington football team beat the Bucks?
Yo, hold on. I just want to point something out, bro. Me and Authentic are never on the same wave. That's my boy, but me and him are never on the same wavelength. I know he's like the most confident in the New York Giants. I know he's always has that the half glass full or whatever it's called, glass half full type guy. I'm kind of like a Debbie Downer, but I don't know. We're like opposite in this game. I feel good about this game. I really do.
Why do you?
I really,
Explain to me.
Well, not only do the Giants somehow play well against Brady most of the time, and I don't know if I think that's a Brady thing. I don't think it's a Giants thing. That's a Brady. I think he gets in his own head sometimes because he plays his team. He has history with this team. On top of that, we do well against the Buccaneers. Like I said, I go to every Buccaneers Giants game when they're playing down here, and we always play well down here. And no matter what the roster is, I don't know what it is. We just do play well down here. And on top of that, we came so freaking close last season that I feel like this team wants redemption. I know a lot of these players are new to this. A lot of these star players are new to this team. They weren't here last season, but a lot of these players are still here, and they know what happened last year, and that was on a Monday night. This is on a Monday night again. It's at their house. This is a chance for us to get our redemption. I feel like the Giants are going to play one of those games. You know how the Giants are. They always win games that they're not supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is definitely one of those games. I don't feel like we're going to get blown out. If we do lose this game, I feel like it's going to be another close game like it was last year, where it's going to come down to the final plays. Who's going to have the ball last? I don't know why. I just have this feeling, dude. I really feel like we're going to get close in this game.
That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about it. How did Washington beat Tampa Bay last week?
I'll be honest with you. I did not watch that game at all. I was working that day. They called me in the work. I was so pissed. But I didn't watch the game. Didn't watch any film on it. I really had time to watch film even on the Giants this week. But I assume it was just attacking that defense, because you look at this Tampa Bay defense. Of course their front seven is great. Their front seven has a problem with the same thing what our front seven does. The middle of the field. They're getting destroyed in the middle of the field.
Also, I'm just
running back dump offs and wide
I'm quickly looking at the box stats. So they
Mm-hmm.
got ready to throw 2 picks, and they stuffed the running game. In terms of rushing yards, there was only a total of 53 rushing yards as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, like I said, they were dealing with not their best offensive unit. AB was out, Gronk was out. Chris Godwin was hobbled. He played in this game, but was a game time decision. And also Mike Evans was pretty much their only target. And you know how Mike Evans can be. Sometimes he's he's very hit or miss in his whole entire career. Although he winds up putting up good numbers by the end of the season, he always has games where he just disappears. I think his stat line was okay in this game against Washington.
He was their best receiver, 2 for 62 and a touchdown.
Yeah, it's 2 for 62. I mean, dude was barely present, but when he was, I mean, he made big plays. I mean, and I looked at the stat line like halfway through the game. I think he didn't even have a catch.
Mm-hmm.
So he really came on towards the end of the game.
Surprising is, I also didn't get to look at the Washington and Tampa Bay game. I've been busy this entire week, yo. So Sunday I went and visited. I was visiting my friend, who like I haven't seen in a while. He was at Rochester, came back down to the city. Monday I had school, and then at night, I posted about it, so a couple people noticed. I went to an IDK concert. That thing was amazing. Got back late and tired, just slept, and then yesterday I was busy all day too. So I didn't get to see the game either. But I'm really surprised that according to this box stat, the Washington defense didn't get a single sack on him. I'm very much sure they got pressure on him, but I'm surprised by that, one. And two, like 29-19. I know that they basically iced the game on like a touchdown with like a minute to go or something like that as well.
Yeah,
it was definitely seems like offense was the name of the game here.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a close. To be honest with you, I mean, in that first half, I know the Bucs had a problem scoring in the beginning, but it was a close game throughout. I know, like it didn't look like it. I think at halftime was 16-6 or something like that, or 13-6, 16-6, something like that. But the Bucs never seemed like they were out of it. It was only towards that end of the game where they literally couldn't stop Washington on third down. Like anything they did in that second half, was converted. I think there was a point in time late. I think it was their last drive. It was like 3rd and freaking 15 or 20 or something like that, and they converted. I was like, holy crap! And so basically, what they did was run the ball, run that clock out. I think it was like the 2-minute warning inside the 20, and they freaking ran the ball down. And then their last down, they were able to punch it in for a touchdown and ice the game like that. Mm-hmm. Like that was just really good management by Ron Rivera. I mean, they got Riverboat Ron, bro. Mm-hmm. Riverboat Ron.
Shout out to Durant Osman in here. He says this game all depends on Andrew Thomas. Going back to what I was saying earlier, he is designated to come off IR. What are the chances of him playing this game? Because there's no guarantee as of right now that he's playing.
I think they're gonna put him back. I think they're gonna definitely put him back, especially when a significant game like this. Joe Judge was the coach last year. He knows obviously this loss probably hit him harder than it hit us, right? So. The fact that he came close in this game, he needs all his best pieces on the field. They had another week of rest with that bye week. He should be ready to go. And to me, I don't see a reason in keeping Andrew Thomas, back any longer. We're past the midway point of this season, and if we still have a chance, you go for it. You go for it. You put your best pieces out there. So. If this was like obviously if this is the early on in the season, you'll hear me saying, sit this guy, and wait till they come back fully healthy. But we're past the midway point. This is now or never. We sacrifice a game like this. Although I guess we're in a position where this is a win now, kind of, or a must-win type of game. Even though this team is obviously better than us, we've seen a team like Washington beat them. I mean, that really gives us some optimism in saying, man, we could beat this team too. Why not us? So, like I said, throw your best pieces out there.
Mm-hmm. And of course, real quick, yes, T6, I do know the song 24 by IDK, bro. Running back. Come on now, bro. You know what's hilarious? He kind of tricked us. He performed like an entire album. It's either his latest album or the one that he's releasing. I forgot which. And then at the end, there was 2 songs that he forgot. He pretended to forget. You know how performers being entertainers do it. He came back, and the 2 songs were 24 and then Shoot My Shot, which is what everybody has been asking for like the entire concert. But yeah, in what direction do you see Saquon coming in, bro? We just talking about Andrew Thomas.
If he does, like I said, put your best pieces out there in a game like this, I think he will play. I think obviously his snaps are going to be limited. But we don't know how limited they're going to be because now his backup, Devontae Booker, is now hurt. So now we're kind of in a position to kind of utilize Gary Brightwell, finally. Hopefully we get some Gary Brightwell, or maybe we're gonna use Eli Penny. I
Bro,
don't know.
what in the world? That was what my video was on today too. Yeah, Gary Brown was activated. Oh, I would suggest we're actually gonna use him.
Yeah, why did he get activated? We're not even gonna use the guy, man. But
Like he's
I don't know.
activated, yes, but like that, man. Listen, I need to see some mixture in the running game. You said Gainwell, isn't Kenneth Gainwell doing really well right now? I wish we had him.
No. See, a lot. I've heard a lot of Giants fans call Gary Brightwell Gainwell.
Hmm.
I'm like, nah, that's the other well
The other
on the
well.
Eagles.
Anyway, shout out to Yibrat singing here. Well, no problem, bro. Just thank you for tuning in. Edward Chan, he says, no way we win. Hey, man, like Kidblue say, it's any given Sunday. But
Hmm. No
that's about
AB,
it.
no Gronk, maybe no Godwin, no Sherman. Well, I don't consider Sherman a buck anyway. I mean, he only played like 1 or 2 games.
Here's the thing, guys. We gotta wait for like, we just gotta wait until there's the actual injury report comes out like a day before the game, yo, right?
Yeah.
Like we can't be saying these things like right now, man. But what I will say is that
Oh my gosh.
what's up?
He said the Giants 35 bucks 14. Dude, I wish.
Bro, did you see
Dude,
an
I
earlier
freaking
score
wish.
that the Bucks fan put in there? It was like Giants 42, Bucks 14 or something like that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Listen, so we
I think
didn't
he's
get
trying
to
to play.
do the questions thing last time because you know, cuz what was it? We didn't do Young Guns last time. I'm trying to find my post where I did a Young Guns a questions post, and I'm trying to see if you guys have any questions there, and then we'll do it right now. Did I not make a post last week? Huh. I guess I did not make a post last week. That's kind of sad. What in the world?
Edward Chance says Bucks 24-10. I mean, that seems reasonable. I can't blame you guys for it. I just feel like it's gonna be closer than a lot of people expect. I know, I acknowledge one thing. I'm acknowledging that this Bucks team is better than the Giants. They flat out are. But there are times where the Giants just stick in games they shouldn't be in, and I feel like this is one of those games. I really do. That we've always played well against the Buccaneers. We've always played well against Brady. Like I don't know why Giants fans are scared of Brady. We've always played well. I don't think he's ever blew us out, right? When was the last time he blew? Like even in 2015, where this team was god awful, we came to a Landon Collins dropped interception, which I'll never forgive him for, and we lost that game. We were winning that game in the final drive, and then he drops the interception. They convert on third down, and then they kick a field goal to win the game. I don't even want to go back into that, but we always play well against Brady. He's never blown this team out. Besides, I think he blew the team out in correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but in '07, I think he blew us out.
You talking
That's
about?
the only time.
No, that was a close game. It was like 35 to 20 something.
You sure? Okay, then I don't know if we ever because I know in 2012 we faced them again. I think we won that game. No.
I can't remember. What I will
Or
say though is
2011.
I did find the questions post. There's only one question, but we're gonna do it because it's a member question. So on to the question section.
I wish I could hear it.
All right, this is from Sunday, exactly 1 week ago, and I'll read it verbatim. But for context, the night before, which was Tuesday last week, I had Justin on. He called in, so this is in reference to that. She says Justin brought up on last night's stream something I've been wondering about: people blaming Mara without real proof. Examples: they say Mara made the Barkley pick, and Mara won't allow Joe Judge to fire Jason Garrett. My question is, how much would you say or know is really on Mara versus how much is on Dave Gettleman versus how much is on Joe Judge? That's kind of a difficult question to answer
As far as the blame goes,
because I don't think you'll ever get any actual proof. Like, no owner is going to come out and say what decisions he is or is not making.
Exactly what I was about to say. I was gonna say that's a loaded question because you're gonna get one of two answers. You're gonna get one answer where the blame is ultimately gonna land on versus who is actually on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, like I think that's what the question is about, right? Like the who's
how
to
much would
blame?
you say is on Mara versus
Right.
Gettleman versus Judge?
To me, it's all on Mara.
Yeah.
Like he hired Gettleman, and then Gettleman hired Judge. It all starts at the source. all starts at the source. You know Mara is so impatient with rebuilding a team. You know he was the key conductor of that 2018 debacle. There's no way Dave Gettleman just runs in here, takes control of what this team was, a 3-13 team at the time. There's no way he takes control of a 3-13 team and says this team is ready to win now. There's no GM in the world that would ever do that. That was definitely John Mara's decision and forced that upon Dave Gettleman. I'll never think that was Dave Gettleman's fault. Of course, I'll blame Dave Gettleman for, I guess, going through with it. But then again, that's what his boss says. But it's all on John Mara. I mean, you look at how long Jerry Reese remained the freaking GM here because he won 2 Super Bowls. And, arguably, I don't know how much I really credit Jerry Reese for those Super Bowls because, honestly, I think his team management was terrible. But because we were so loyal to Jerry Reese, he stuck around way longer than he should have. They totally botched the whole Tom Coughlin crap. They should have got rid of Jerry Reese with Tom Coughlin, and that's where it really spiraled downhill. I blame it all on John Mara. I think he lost his touch as an owner. I think he ultimately is never going to put. I mean, why would he, right? But he's never going to put the blame on himself. He's always going to scapegoat it to some other person, like they scapegoated it to Pat Shurmur. They scapegoated it to Tom Coughlin. So it's always going to end up that way. And so, if we find ourselves in another situation where this team doesn't probably win 2 more games, and we find ourselves at 5-12 or something like that, and we end up firing Gettleman because now there are reports saying that barring any sort of crazy miracle from the New York Giants this season, at the end of the season, if we want to make it in the playoffs, barring any miracle, Dave Gettleman's probably gone. I'm seeing a lot of reports on that, and it's fair. Although I'm a Dave Gettleman apologist, it's fair. I mean, it is what it is. But as much as I don't want it to see it happen, you're going to have to get rid of the head coach. You just got to. I've been in so many freaking Twitter spaces where I just listening in, and everybody spends 2 hours bashing Dave Gettleman, but then saying, I think we should keep Joe Judge. Have you guys learned nothing? It's either you keep Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge for another year and see what happens, or you get rid of both of them, man. But if John Mara screws that up again, you're looking at another at least 3-4 years of just disappointment. And I think it's John Mara's fault, man. It's all John Mara's fault. That was a loaded answer. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I'm getting tired of week in, week out basically talking about the same thing. And that's where we're at.
And that happens every time we lose. Every time we lose, it's always, oh my God, Dave Gettleman needs to go right now. I go in these Twitter spaces, fire Dave Gettleman right now. But then we win. It's like, oh, we won. Yeah, we won. I'll leave Dave Gettleman alone. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't stand Twitter Giants fans, dude. I just can't. I can't.
Speaking
I'm
of Twitter spaces,
right now.
Shameless plug. Check out the Twitter space I host with Eli and Pest every day after. No, whenever we play, it's like right after.
Hey, if you guys would let me in, I'll definitely join in after the Bucks game.
Oh, for sure. Just come on in, then I'll give you some speaker privileges. Because usually there's a couple people who join in from the game, and we try to get them in as quick as possible because we know commute is a thing, and so then we let them go. And yeah.
Hell yeah, man! I'll definitely join in that.
Let's see here. Durant says, how can you not dispute that keeping Eli was a Mara or Dave Gettleman decision? Wait, what is he asking there? How can you not dispute?
Wait, which
I'm confused by that question, Durant. He says, how can you not dispute if that keeping Eli was a Mara or Dave Gettleman decision?
He said, how can you... Oh, wait, I just lost it. How can you not dispute that keeping Eli was a Mara or... Okay, I guess he's like, how can you not talk about that? I guess that's what he's trying to say. How can you not talk about it? Eli should have retired 2 or 3 years. But that was Eli's decision. You're not going to see anybody force them into retirement. On top of that, you would never do Eli won you 2 Super Bowls. Like, it's different from Jerry, like being loyal to Jerry Reese, who I think had barely anything to do with the Super Bowls, versus Eli Manning, who's actually out there playing and Super Bowl MVP twice. That's not, you don't just force a guy into retirement. So, in my honest opinion, I mean, it's not anyone's choice but Eli whether he should have retired or not. So.
Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says the key to win against the Bucks losers: tear up Tom Baloney pocket protection and rattle his cage. He's a scared little bee. I wish New York Giants had me. That rhyme. Don't hit the player, hit the game. Bars. Shout out to Sunday in here as well. We literally just answered your question from last week, Sunday. So thank you for dropping those questions. Keep them coming. For those of you that don't know, every Young Guns, there's a new question section, which, let me play this little thing again. Where I would make a post beforehand, and I would just basically have the members drop their questions, and I'll answer it during the stream. Sunday's been the one consistent participant of that for the past 2 weeks. And to Tudo, yeah, I mean, we definitely got to rattle his cage a little bit. I agree with that 100%. The pass rush has improved. Kidblue was literally a couple minutes ago talking about the Bucs offensive line and how good they've been performing, and we just went over the box score from Tampa Bay versus Washington, where they didn't really get sacks on him. I wish that Pro Football Reference had game logs so I could see what the pressures and hurries and stuff like that was. Let me see if there is. If I just look up Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There is, but they're individual. Like, you have to go on, like, every separate. Yeah, that sucks.
Let me see if I could do it, man. Let's see. PFR. PFR, do you have it? There is a page here. There is a page.
Oh, wait. Tudo put the same super chat in there. I don't know if he thought that it was...
Defense. Okay. It is here. It is here. All right. So if we go by QB hits, Tampa Bay by far has a lot more quarterback hits. It's not even close. It's not even close. Tampa Bay was the team getting all types of pressures. If I can I sort
in that
by
specific game?
Yeah, can I sort if I'm sorting my tackle for loss, it's the same thing. It's all Tampa players. All Tampa players. For some reason I cannot sort by pressures, which is what I really want to see. Shout out to Tudo once again, as Kidblue just let me know. He super chatted the same thing twice, but thank you so much for the support. And then shout out to Tudo once again for another $5 super chat where he says, if New York Giants had me, I tear him into pieces and don't care if banned forever playing again. All I need is half a chance to get my hand on him. Tudo, go over to the Giants and try out, bro. Go over to the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Try out. Like, break our backup, like, Mike Glennon's hand or something while you sack him, and they'll let you on the team, bro. That's all I'm going to say. Don't actually go and break his hand. But, yeah, I can't sort by pressures here, but it's very evident that pass rush was not in Washington's favor that game. It was very much in Tampa Bay's favor. And it
was definitely an offensive type of game.
Yeah, Washington still came out with the win.
It really looked like to me, as far as, because I was paying attention for fantasy reasons, so I wasn't able to watch the game, but I kept looking at my phone and seeing the drive charts and stuff like that. But it looked like Tom Brady was just trying to force the ball downfield constantly with the lack of weaponry he had. So I guess he just put too much on it and didn't really play methodical like he should have. But like you said, though, they were shutting down the run, so it's not like he really had an option. So at that
good
point,
news, I did find the pressure section. So I'm going to read it out in order, right? All right, so there's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was only 10 players during the game that managed to get pressure on the opposing quarterback. Devin White with 5, obviously Tampa Bay. Shaq Barrett with 5, Tampa Bay. Anthony Nelson with 2, Tampa Bay. Then finally Jonathan Allen with 2, Washington. But then we go right back to Tampa Bay. Joe Tryon with 1, William Golston with 1, and Ndamukong Suh with 1, Raheem Roaches with 1. And then you ended off with 2 Washington players, one each, Shaka Toney and Matt Ioannidis. Yeah, no, this was a offensive game from the Washington front, and that's why they won, it seems. Let's see here. Mark Primetime in here. He says the hub is alive. Good to see you guys out here. Kidblue, we see some of your closet Cowboys fan good vibes this weekend. It's been a minute since we've seen his closet Cowboy fan vibe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're just proving me right. Although I hate the Cowboys, they are proving me right. It said their offense was not something to be trifled with, and I was right, sadly.
Sadly.
Yeah.
And then we see here Anthony in here. He says, "What up, what up, KB? I don't know about you guys, but Kenny Galladay isn't what I expected. I feel like he's gonna be the Brandon Marshall experience." Now, I don't blame you or any fan for feeling this way, because I've said it a couple times. It's not a topic we've talked about a lot, actually. And we would have been talking about it a lot more if Kadarius Toney didn't exist. Which I want people to realize for a second, because, yes, taking Rashawn Slater means we would have really way less problems on this offensive line right now. We would have probably one of the best tackle duos in the entire NFL, if not the best tackle duo in Rashawn Slater and Andrew Thomas, all right? But what you got to realize is that Kadarius Toney also covers a major problem. You see how many players we have injured right now on this wide receiving core. Without Kadarius Toney, this wide receiving core is basically the same as last year because, with the amount of injuries that we have, Kenny Galladay is out, Sterling Shepard is out, Darius Slayton was out for a minute, and we're back down to third string, second string, even practice squad guys. And once again, we're not even talking about the fact that because of his injury, Kenny Galladay, his contract has kind of been a liability, so to speak, because of the injury. The only reason we're not talking about that is because we have a legit weapon in Toney that's making plays. He's a playmaker. And he's kind of not necessarily, I don't know if distracting us is the correct term to use, but he's shifting our attention away from that because our offense really is different when he gets involved and involved properly and used properly.
And one thing I really want to throw in there is the one reason why Kenny Galladay really doesn't look like he's had great or look like a Brandon Marshall experience, quote unquote, is because honestly, to be honest with you guys, he doesn't fit our system. Like he just like you look at Daniel Jones.
It doesn't make sense. He should.
You know why though? If you look at how we're trying to run this system, right, with Daniel Jones and Jason Garrett, what they're trying to do, play conservative. They're really trying to find open players.
And Joe Judge, don't forget now, he's the most conservative man there is.
Right, but they're trying to find, like when they're doing these spot routes, they're doing these curl routes, these comeback routes, they're trying to create separation. Although Kenny Galladay is one of the best contested catchers in the NFL, there's something going on with Daniel Jones' confidence, I feel like. I don't know. Like, he throws great deep balls, right? But he doesn't really try guys that are, like, tight in coverage, like, super tight. That's why he looks for a guy like Kadarius Toney, because Kadarius Toney is always getting separation. He can make yards after the catch. And I feel like Kenny Galladay doesn't really fit what Daniel Jones wants when he looks downfield. Like, when he looks downfield, he sees Kenny Galladay covered, but he's open because he's Kenny Galladay. When he's covered, he's open. I feel like Daniel Jones just overlooks him because he sees a Kadarius Toney or Sterling Shepard to dump off to, and he's gonna get some yak yardage out of it, and they're kind of in open space. I feel like that's what the reason is. I'm not gonna completely blame Kenny Galladay for it. I more so have to blame probably the system that they're running and Daniel Jones, because I feel like Daniel Jones is just not targeting him. That's just what I feel. I feel like he's not targeting him. I feel like I've been defending Daniel Jones for a long time in this system that we're running. But one thing I can't defend him for is how many times Kenny Galladay is just overlooked. He's never the first read, right? He's going downfield, on these crappy freaking curl and comeback routes that I know he could probably do well in, but I mean they're just not targeting him.
This is what I'll say on his deep balls, and shout out to Diggy for pointing this out to me. But I've also said it before too. Shout out to Sunday for renewing her membership. Thank you for that. Ms. Daniel Jones, waves to you. With the Daniel Jones, the best deep ball throw thing, which everybody loved to talk about for a long time, especially this entire offseason, it's kind of a misnomer, or what a misnomer is basically kind of misleading stat or misleading title to give him because of just how small of a sample size there is. One of the reasons he's labeled as the best deep ball throw by PFF is because he doesn't throw the ball deep that much. So smaller sample size, and because he's good in that extremely small sample size, it would boost his grade up, so to speak. If he threw the ball downfield a lot more, he wouldn't be the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. And let's keep it real here. We all know the best deep ball throwers in the NFL who they are. It's guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Russell Wilson, like Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Those guys are your best deep ball throwers in the NFL. And Daniel can't make every single throw down the field. There's certain throws he can't make, like the fade route. For some reason, this man can't throw a fade. And Diggy was the one.
Completely agree.
Diggy was the one that really pointed this out, and then it clicked in my head. Yeah, I'm like, he can't put the ball that well to over the shoulder of a receiver and stuff like that. And I know some people might disagree because of the most famous over the shoulder throw he made this year was dropped by Darius Slay, and that was one of the very few well placed ones. But there's certain throws where it's you need to put a little bit of loft under the ball that he doesn't get right. What he's great at is putting it in tight spaces. What he's great at is hitting them in the numbers, but there's certain throws he just can't make right now. And then shout out to Sunday. Oh, if I thought you wanted to add a little bit more on the fade thing, or was that it?
Oh, all right, that was it. I mean, I completely agree with you. I'm so I'm so freaking worried every time I see Daniel Jones throw a fade route because it's just it either sails over or it's almost intercepted. I get so nervous when I see fade routes, but I mean that's one thing. Here's the thing. it's not like they're first trying this stuff and experimenting when we see them play these games. They practice this stuff. Why can't they throw a fade route to Kenny Galladay? Why do we always have to freaking do a rollout and have it intercepted or have it freaking put Daniel Jones' life on the line and have him get concussed when we clearly have like a guy like Kenny Galladay that can go out there and catch a fade route? I don't know why that's just not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not gonna completely rail on freaking Jason Garrett in this podcast because he's actually been calling a pretty decent uh, games these past couple of games. I mean, this past season. I mean, he's actually been doing pretty well. Can't blame him fully, but there are still things we really need to clean up on, and that's the freaking red zone, man. It's a freaking red zone. Throw them fade routes, man. You know, if you're gonna have freaking quarterback rollouts, I mean, have it something like interesting. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see Daniel Jones rolling out, I never see anybody running with Daniel Jones. Where's he supposed to throw it to? He can't throw it across his body. You know, to the other side, it's going to get intercepted. Like execution is freaking key, man. Depends on, and you know, it doesn't matter on what play calls you run, and so, I guess that's a big key right there too in facing this Bucks team is that if we get close to the red zone, there is no room to get conservative and kick field goals against this Buccaneers team. Like this team will kill you and make you pay. I know, and listen, Graham Gano is not even feeling good right now. He's dealing with a stomach bug. So it's not like we're going to have to put our complete trust and hope in Graham Gano all the time. We got to get aggressive. We got to get aggressive, especially in the red zone. And, you know, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but, man, fade routes. So many teams are so good at it, and we have a guy that can supposed to have good accuracy.
He can't throw a fade route, man. That's just what it is.
But we have a guy that can catch these type of balls, man. We have a guy that can catch, you know, 50-50 contested catches. We need to.
And we don't use him like that.
Right.
And Daniel Jones doesn't target him like that either. And by the way, Sunday, the thing that popped up on my screen for a second wasn't the renewal. It was a member question. So that's pretty cool. I finally see it on Streamlabs now. It's shown in a green thing. She says, do you think we need to build a super team around DJ for him to succeed? No. Because DJ is like a Ryan Tannehill-esque quarterback to me. And they were succeeding before you could. They're not a super team. A lot of people say they're a super offense after they got Julio Jones. But like they were a great team before that. I think what Daniel Jones needs is a good offensive line, and I really do think that's going to fix a lot. I know it sounds like a cliche at this point, but I do think a good offensive line is going to help him, and some consistent weapons in the sense that they're consistently healthy. I think that's it. I don't think he needs a super team, but he does need more help than, say, your top 5 quarterback needs because he's not a top 5 quarterback. And a franchise quarterback, by the way, guys, is not a top 5 quarterback either because there's more than 5 franchises in the league, but he does need more help than like the elites do. That's just.
I'm gonna be right back, dude. I'm gonna be right back.
For sure. So yeah, like I was saying, I think he needs a better offensive line and some weapons that are consistent in health. I think the defense, once they hit their stride, is gonna be good enough. But on the offensive side of things, he needs that protection. We've seen how completely different he is with Andrew Thomas, a point that we've all talked about for weeks and weeks on end. If he could have an entire line that is at least, I don't know, above average in pass protection and that could make holes like they did this past week against the Vegas defense, 2 weeks ago, not even past week, like they did 2 weeks ago against the Vegas defense for Devontae Booker. I think that is what he needs. For sure, we could have Authentic on. We'll have to schedule it later, though. Cannot be on tonight's episode, but for sure, Authentic. He's always down, and we just got to work some time out. Swing on the link for a future show, and we'll get it done, man. Shout out to Tudo. Talking Sports with Landon says, hello, what up, Landon? And there was another question here. Mark Primetime. He says, Galladay is going to start getting $20 million next season with a $23 million cap hit. There's really no choice. He has to work out for you guys. Yeah, I agree with you. He has to return a positive thing on the investment, right? What's the saying? Like, you want to get a positive return on the investment, basically. If he doesn't, then, that was a bad contract, which is what we were discussing earlier. Is it a Brandon Marshall type of situation, which I'm not ready to put that label on it yet. And I say yet because, if he continues to get injured and basically he never plays during his contract or plays any meaningful time during his contract, then yes, bad contract, bad signing, didn't work out. Injuries and health was the issue. But that's another reason why if say in the worst case scenario, we blow things up, we get rid of the head coach, we get rid of the GM and whatnot, it's going to be very hard to get rid of Kenny Galladay and that contract. We're just going to kind of have to bite the bullet on that and be the ones that pay him and while he plays for us. Anthony says, wish the Giants could have had traded for A.J. Dillon. The man is a beast. It could be Saquon, A.J., and Gary with a good old line and maybe a spread or West Coast offense. A.J. Dillon's currently on the Packers, right? I haven't watched Packers games like that. I've only seen one Packers game this entire year. It was Packers versus Cardinals. I think that was week 7, I think it was, or week 8. But I can't say how good A.J. Dillon is. He was taken in the 5th round, I believe. But that's about my thing on A.J. Dillon right there. Edward says, question. Yeah, go ahead.
2 second-round pick.
What happened?
A.J. Dillon?
Yeah.
2nd-round pick.
Wasn't he a 5th rounder?
2nd round. He was. Remember, he was their pick right after Jordan Love, and then everybody.
Why did I think he was a 5th rounder? What in the world? Am I mixing up with somebody?
I think Aaron Jones was the 5th rounder.
Oh, Aaron Jones was the 5th rounder?
I think so. Could be
Hold
wrong.
up. Yeah, A.J. Dillon, 2nd round. Let me look this up now. So was Aaron Jones the other Packers running back? Was he a 5th rounder? I was just mixing them up. Yeah, he was the 5th rounder, pick 182. Okay, bet. Bet.
Yes, sir.
Edward says, question about football in general. How successful do you think a run-first team and hard-nosed team is in this day and age where most teams are pass-first? Great question, because he's obviously talking about the team that Joe Judge wants this to be. Go ahead, man.
Surprisingly, it has its benefits. Because when you are a pass-first team versus a pass-first team, if your passing isn't better than the other team's passing, you're just giving the ball back to that other team constantly over and over and over again with plenty of time left, and you're killing your defense. In my opinion, the best way to operate in a passing league is to run the football. In my honest opinion, is to run the football. I know a lot of people say it's outdated and analytics this, analytics that. But if you're trying to stop the opposing offense from getting on the field and scoring points, one thing you have to do is keep them off the field as long as you can, and that's running the football, playing methodically, and keeping that opposing offense on the field. You make sure you get your scores in, because if you put yourself in a position where you are a pass first team and you're constantly going out 3 and out, and you're only taking off about 30 seconds off the clock every time you're on the field, then damn. I mean, or not 30 seconds. Well, if you go 3 and out, you're like 30 seconds. But, like, let's say realistically, like 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half off the clock all the time, you're giving the opposing offense that many opportunities to score. If you're giving the opposing team too many opportunities to score. It's something that we talk about when in my flag football team. I know it's nothing to the NFL, but one thing we do is try to make like against high-powered teams, high-powered offenses that we play against. We try to like play methodically and keep the ball away from their offense to try to keep it as close as we can. If we could find a way to get, I don't know, maybe 3 possessions each.
Remember what
half.
Joe Judge said? He was like, if we got to run 100 times, we'll run 100 times. If we got to pass 100 times, we'll pass 100 times.
You know what's crazy? People were so pissed off when we won and that we only targeted Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney like twice, right? We only targeted wide receivers twice. Do people not understand that's what Joe Judge said when he first came to the New York Giants, or people just thought he was just like that was just something?
I was guilty of that, and I realized it afterwards. But I still think it's a valid concern that you're only targeting your receivers 4 times, even if your game plan is to run a lot.
It is a valid concern. And one podcast I listened to a lot, so I'm not throwing any shade at them whatsoever. My boys, Talking Giants, Bobby Skinner and Justin Pennick, listening into their podcast, and they were talking about, Bobby was, it's fair criticism, was upset that the wide receivers weren't targeted as much, but it's not something we should be surprised about. Joe Judge said it. Sometimes we're going to run the ball 100 times. Sometimes we're going to pass the ball 100 times. That's just what's going to happen. It all depends on the matchup. And the Giants, really felt like the matchup was to run the ball, and it worked with Devontae Booker, target your tight ends, and it worked for them. We won the game. And I would be upset if we got blown out in a game, or maybe we even lost a close game. Either way, if we lost the game in which we targeted wide receivers twice, then I'd be pissed off. But obviously, whatever they game planned, it worked. And this is a team that was coming off of 3 30-plus point performances in the Las Vegas Raiders, and we limited them to 16 points. So, say what you want about that. But that's what Joe Judge said he was going to do, and I'm just happy that he's doing something that he said he was going to do, and it worked. So although it's fair criticism, and I'll be honest, when after the game I was kind of like scratching my head too. I'm like, we have Kadarius. This is Kenny Galladay's first game back. They should be not balling out, but doing something right now. And obviously that wasn't part of the game plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could get back to your the running the ball being better in the passing unless you finish it, because I think I kind of interrupted you there.
Well, I mean, to wrap that up, I'm not gonna be some type of like a guy that doesn't want to adapt to the new style of football, but that's something. I mean, I love, and obviously you guys know running back's my favorite position. I love running the football. I mean, I love what a guy like. I mean, these new running backs like Ezekiel, like although I hate Ezekiel Elliott because he's a Cowboy, but Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, guys like Adrian Peterson, like they really bring back like old school, run it down your throat type football. That's what I love, and it really works when you want to control the other side of other side of the game. You can really affect the opposing offense by running the football. You can really limit how many times they're going to touch the football, because now you're going to have them thinking we can't make a mistake now, and they're going to be overthinking about it because we don't have as much opportunities because they're taking up half the quarter, you know? So it's like you're forcing the opposing offense to drive down the field and score on every single possession. Otherwise, you're just going to keep running the football and scoring, eventually scoring, or maybe scoring a field goal, but you're still taking up like half the quarter. You know what I'm saying? So although it works, there are some times where you got to throw that football and keep up in a shootout. Obviously, when there's a team that there's like freaking nothing you can do and they're just scoring. That's what I say against like a team like the Cowboys, man. It's so hard to game plan against an opposing offense like the Cowboys when you're another offense, like when Daniel Jones has to face up against Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott or whatever. Like, you have to play like them to beat them, because they can run the clock out. They can run half the quarter on you, or they can score in 2 plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's best to be a team like that. I hate teams that just freaking throw it. You got to be able to run the football. That's why, believe it or not, that's why Lamar Jackson and his Baltimore Ravens offense are so freaking good, man. Like, they're so methodical.
I was about to say right there to answer Edward's question, and I'll let you go on. How successful can a run-first team be? Very. The Ravens are technically a run-first team.
The Titans.
Took it out of my mouth with King Henry is a run-first team, and the Browns are a run-first team.
Right.
But go ahead.
And you know, we're not going to get into Lamar Jackson talk, but one thing I will say is that Lamar Jackson runs that system beautifully. So beautifully. He knows he's such a smart, instinctive player with the option. He knows when to, keep it himself. He knows when to dump it off. He knows when to dump it off to the tight end and the option. Like, running the ball and limiting the opposing offense can just kill a team. And that's exactly what Lamar Jackson and the Ravens do consistently in every single game. They run. They get first downs when they need to. They find themselves in like freaking 3rd down and 2 situations where they just need to run the ball, get a new set of downs, and keep doing that over and over and over again. By the time you know it's the end of the quarter. You know what I'm saying? So run first teams definitely have success. I say even more so, they definitely have better success against passing teams than any other running team. Like, running teams have better success against passing teams than any other team, in my honest opinion. It's just a passing team's kryptonite. A passing team relies on having as much time as possible to get down the score and have as much opportunity as possible.
And then Edward says in a regular season, but do you think a run-first team can win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. The 3 teams I just listed are 3 teams that should be considered Super Bowl contenders. One. And I know you're saying in this day and age, for the past decade, mostly run-first teams have won the Super Bowl. If we go
for sure, but
decade,
I feel like nowadays it's just like people just overlook running teams because of how many because it is a passing league now. Like, there's a graph I saw earlier today where it's sort of a graph throughout the years of the percentage of early downs being passes versus them being runs, like early down, like 1st and 2nd down, and I think it was at its lowest point in the early 2000s, but it freaking skyrocketed to in 2021. It freaking skyrocketed, like it's like beyond, like up the graph. Like, teams
what kind of shape was the graph? Was it linear? Was it a line, or was it like a curve?
It was like stagnant in the middle, dipped all the way down, and then shot up. So it's just a huge increase throughout the years. And you know, I mean, to give credit where it's due, I mean, there are teams that actually get away with this, right? I mean, although the Rams, I guess you could say, the Rams have a good running game. Like Darrell Henderson's a good running back. When they need him, but he's not in any way, shape, or form a key contributor to that offense. I mean, they have Matt Stafford
just
for
a
reason.
couple years ago, let us not forget the Rams' offense was purely off of Todd Gurley. Just a couple years ago.
Right. They completely shifted, right?
Mm-hmm.
They completely shifted away. Once Sean McVay got there, and Sean McVay was trying to use Jared Goff as like a Matt Stafford type guy to throw the ball downfield and try to hit him in tight spaces and try to run that offense.
No, even with Jared Goff there, like Todd Gurley was the centerpiece. He was the offense.
Then they lost him. They lost him, and now
and they had to readjust.
Right, and they're doing a fantastic job at that. There are plenty of passing teams out there. I mean, for a long time, Atlanta was a really good passing team. You guys know in their Super Bowl run, they were historically one of the best passing offenses in history.
And they lost.
Matt Ryan was absolutely insane. So there are a lot of great passing offenses out there. But I would say the best remedy to a passing offense is an opposing running offense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wildchild says, Hub, are you going to the Eagles versus Giants game? No, I am not. But both me and Kidblue, along with several other content creators and a good amount of fans, are going to be at Week 18, Washington versus Giants. Final week of the season, first ever Week 18 in NFL history, January 9th. And hopefully that's going to be a game with some legitimate stakes on it. We'll see what happens there. Hope to see some of you guys there. Mark says,
excited to see you guys.
And this is just to add on to your point, KB. Mark says, Washington went on a 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter to prevent a Tom Brady comeback. A 10-minute drive that was successful because they ended off with a touchdown.
That's a point that I forgot to mention. I'm over here just talking about the regular game. Think about when you're at the end of the game, right? And you are down. Say you're down 2 points, right? And you're trying to desperately to keep that ball away from the opposing offense that they don't ice the game. You run the ball, maybe even pass short every once in a while, but you run the ball, chew the clock, and then do what Washington did. When they were in a 2-minute situation, they're in Tampa territory. They find a way to run the ball all the way down to the last couple of seconds, and then they score a touchdown. Like, they did it at will. Like, they probably could have scored a touchdown at any point in that drive, but they decided not to. Stay methodical, run the clock out, play chess over checkers, you know what I'm saying, and get that touchdown, and then keep the ball away from Tom Brady. So a lot of passing offenses. I mean, I guess you could name one that don't have any good running game. They rely on their passing game. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are some out there that depend on. I guess you could say Atlanta. Let's just say Atlanta. Atlanta's been one to choke games constantly. I don't know if this is a specific situation, but maybe a team like Atlanta is coming at fourth quarter situation. They're a passing team. The only way they know how to get down the field is to pass the ball. They go 3 and out. They leave a guy like Aaron Rodgers 2 minutes to work with. They're losing the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't find a way to run the ball and run that clock out, you give somebody like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Drew Brees the time to get down the field and score in 2 minutes. You're done. You got to find a way to run that ball and chew the clock out. And the only way to do that, I guess you could try to find a way around that and just dump the ball off to your running backs all the time. But obviously it's not sustainable because if they drop a pass, you're stopping the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, man, the running game works. Lamar Jackson proves it, and that offense. I'm not going to say just Lamar Jackson, just that whole offense proves it because they are a running offensive line. They're a quarterback that can definitely run. They had like 3 or 4 great running backs back there that can run, and they even do well back there with Devontae Freeman now. A team like even the Steelers right now with Najee Harris, even back then when they had Le'Veon Bell.
Big Ben is not Big Ben. I'm
garbage.
sorry, Big Rapist has been trash for a couple of years now.
Right, and look they're still winning games because Najee Harris is back there running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Chewing the clock out. Getting down the field methodically, wearing down. That's another thing. You wear down. Look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, his forte is to
wear down the defense,
up,
man.
Wear them out, and then go off in the fourth quarter. I always rag on Derrick Henry for this. Listen, don't get me wrong. I love Derrick Henry as a player. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's the most freaking skilled runner out there. I think but what he does is the best in the NFL. He listen, this guy does not give up, and neither does the coaches. They don't give up. Check that out. The coaches don't even give up on him because he has like less than 2 yards per carry in the first quarter he averages, but in the fourth quarter he has like 7.6 or something like that. He has a huge, it's a crazy margin. But he wears down a defense. He doesn't always succeed, right? He runs for like 1 or 2 yards in the first quarter. He's still wearing them down. He really can't make guys miss, so that's why he only runs for that much. But then when he gets a defense tired, they can't tackle him. How are you going to be out of gas and you're trying to tackle a guy that's like freaking 6'3", 250 running at you at full speed? You just can't. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a guy like Derrick Henry and the Titans offense can win games. That's why they're the number 1 seed right now as well.
Speaking of running backs, question here by Bucks, Skull Gang in the house. He says, what are the chances the Giants trade Barkley in the offseason and start the rebuild if the team has a fire? Well, you kind of answered your question. If the team has a fire sale, the term fire sales means that like usually everybody's gone, so that would probably include Saquon.
Fire sale? I don't think we can have a fire sale. We just can't. All the guys are on the contract are in for huge dead money. I mean, what kind of fire sale do you guys want? You guys want to get rid of guys on rookie contracts? That doesn't do anything for us.
In this hypothetical situation, I'm assuming teams would I guess take the contracts on. I don't know.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is that we're not really having a fire sale. We're not really getting rid of cap because guys on these rookie contracts aren't even making that much. I mean, if we really want to have a fire sale, we got to get rid of guys that are on huge contracts. But we can't because there's so much dead money involved. I mean, like you said, take on the contracts, take on that dead cap, but it's just, I mean, not realistic at this point. I mean, we don't really see it happen. I think they did that for Odell's. If I'm not mistaken, I think they did that for Odell's.
Were we ate the cap?
I think they ate the cap.
The Giants, right?
No, I think the Browns did. I could be wrong. But from what I remember, I think the Browns ate that cap. I think. Could be wrong. But
we'll have to see.
Because otherwise, I really wouldn't see why Dave Gettleman would sign the trade.
Yeah. And then let's get back to our quarterback, Daniel Jones. We were just talking earlier about how there's some throws he can't make. And we were talking about franchise quarterbacks don't have to be the most elite of the elite. But franchise quarterback, at the very least, have to be able to make like every throw, don't they?
They do. I mean, of course, that's a tough question there because
I know
there are quarterbacks that have clear weaknesses, right? There are I don't know, man. It's hard to bring up an example, because it's not like I can go through every quarterback and say what their weaknesses. Because I'm not sit there watching their. Okay, Eli Manning. I've been watching Eli Manning my whole entire life. This guy. I'll be honest with you. I always rag on Lamar Jackson with his throwing. Eli cannot throw a tight spiral. He just doesn't do it, right? That's a weakness of his. He was a franchise quarterback. He sucked at throwing screen passes. He constantly missed guys in screen passes. Like, that's a clear weakness Eli had. But he was still a franchise guy. You know what I'm saying? Still a franchise quarterback. Still came up in big situations.
We're talking about a fade route and lofty deep passes, though.
I know. I feel like I said, though, every quarterback has their strengths and weaknesses and it's stuff they can work on because – at the same time, although we can blame Daniel Jones on it, we also have to blame coaching because if that's a clear weakness that he has, why is that not being worked on?
Jerry Shaplinski, quarterback's coach.
Right. Why is that not being worked on?
What has Jerry Shaplinski been doing for the past 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's definitely a valid concern as well. I mean, you guys know I've been ragging on the training staff for feels like forever now. They have a hand in development and player development and player health as well. Medical staff, training staff, scouting staff. Oh man, all those staffs needs to be changed in my opinion. Been trash for about 10 years.
Would you want to keep Shaplinski? I know a lot of people love him.
He hasn't done anything for me that has been amazing. I mean, Daniel Jones. Let's keep it real.
Daniel's all right. He's all right.
How much of a big step has Daniel Jones taken under this man in 2 years? Honestly. How much of a big step has Daniel Jones taken as a quarterback under the quarterback's coach, Jerry Shaplinski? Is it that much where you're like, you wouldn't mind taking on somebody else?
You know what's crazy? It's like Daniel Jones, like we never I completely understand what you're saying. I completely feel what you're saying. It's like Daniel Jones, we had such low expectation for Daniel Jones that he's doing this season. He has pedestrian numbers and we're like praising him like he's like next coming of freaking Eli. And you're absolutely right. What is Daniel Jones really like? Let's get into the meat of it. What has he really done? I mean, That brings up another good topic. I mean, I know we're talking about ultimately Jerry Shaplinski right
Yeah,
now,
because that's what I
but
was saying is
at the same time, what has
what
Daniel Jones done?
I was about to say progressment. That's not a word. What progress has been made by DJ under Shaplinski, right? Because he's the quarterback coach. It hasn't been nearly enough for me to say, you're here to stay, and I wouldn't hire somebody else. I would definitely try and look for somebody else. He hasn't been
Oh, I
terrible either. You know what I'm
For
saying? But
sure.
if there's an
One thing I
upgrade, there's an
will
upgrade.
say, one thing I will say is I know we talked about Daniel Jones' deep ball earlier, and that if he threw more deep balls, he wouldn't be as accurate, because he just doesn't attempt them as much. But when
Yeah,
he
the
does,
sample
he's pretty
size is low.
accurate.
Yeah.
Right, sample size is low, but when he does, he is pretty accurate. And he wasn't that great of a deep ball thrower in college. So maybe that's something that was worked on with Jerry Shaplinski
Mm-hmm.
of deep ball
Yeah,
throwing.
that could definitely be a plus that Shaplinski
Yeah,
brought.
and one another thing I would say is his decision making. I know Daniel Jones has put in pedestrian
Can I
numbers
stop
this
you right there?
season.
You know why? Because it feels like I've say that for a week or 2 weeks,
Uh
and
huh.
then he
He
has
makes
a
a bad
really
decision.
bad game where it's like I
Right.
can't say that.
But
It's
like,
just the
if you look at it,
consistency. It's the
right? But if you look at
consistency.
if you look at his interception, I know every team defending their quarterback says this. Every fan for every team says this. But like, if you look at Daniel Jones's interceptions, were they really his fault this season? I
Hmm.
mean, if you look at 2018 Daniel Jones,
Oh, KB,
or
I agree
or
with you on the interceptions, but I'm talking about
mhm.
decision making on a whole. It goes back to what we were saying, where there's times where you clearly should target Galladay, but he tries to be too
Oh
safe
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
for
like that.
sure, for
Like
sure.
decision
But
making as a
that's
whole includes way more than just the
but that
interceptions.
but that's one thing is like is it that's why I'm so conflicted because I do put blame on Daniel because at the end of the day he's throwing the ball, he's making the reads. But at the same time, it's like this is a whole new Daniel Jones because we saw him in 2018. He was a gunslinger.
19.
This man just threw 2019. I'm sorry, 2019. He was a freaking gunslinger. Threw all the balls downfield. Freaking Darius Slayton was always downfield. He always targeted Darius Slayton.
I think that's the obvious difference between philosophies of Shermer and Judge slash
Exactly. So
Garrett.
it's like, how much do you blame on Daniel? How much do you blame on the coaching staff?
Hmm.
Of course, there's always a medium to it. There's always blame to go around. There's never one person deserves all the blame because, like I said, at the end of the day, the routes are being called out there. It's up to Daniel Jones to read it and throw it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like for years now, this goes back to
And
Ben
by the way, we're
McAdoo.
not even defending
Mhm.
Garrett here, by the way, because the Garrett's routes are still like disgusting at
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
But I'm gonna let you continue in a second. But I just want to clarify, because for some Giants fans, for some reason, multiple things can't be true. But multiple things are 100% true. It's not black and white. It's great. Daniel Jones hasn't been the best quarterback. Jason Garrett hasn't been the best offensive coordinator. The offensive line has been pretty bad. All three things are true. Go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing I will say about quarterbacks and why are we not targeting this player and Jason Garrett sucks this, Jason Garrett sucks that. This has been going on for ever since freaking Kevin Gilbride, and that's when I was a little kid. Everybody was like, "Oh, why isn't this wide receiver being targeted? It's the coach's fault." Some of it is also on the player's fault too, as well. Like there are plenty of times where like there's no way coaches play call a freaking running back dump off all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like like in 2018, Eli Manning, everybody was blaming Pat Shermer for calling dump. He wasn't calling dump offs. He was calling actual plays that go downfield, but Eli was just dumping it off constantly, and that's why Saquon Barkley had 91 receptions. So, that's the reason for that. But yeah, some of it has to be on Daniel Jones as well. He has to target, like we talked about earlier. He has to target Kenny Galladay more.
Um, Let me see here. Chat hasn't really moved. Shout out to Michael B. Oh yeah, to your first question, yeah, man, Big Ben is 100% that. That man covered up with money. One of the main reasons I keep calling him that on the channel, and I was never a fan of him and never will be. Like, you guys can go look at. There's a lot of NFL players that just cover stuff up with money, bro. All right, and it's not just Big Ben. It's just that Ben is like the biggest example of it. But unless there's any other questions from the chat, unless there's any other thing KB wants to cover, topics we might have missed, I might go ahead and start to end it out here, man. What you got?
Not really anything. I'm getting back on track with the video making soon. I took my staycation, as we called it
Mm-hmm.
earlier. Gonna be getting back into video making and doing the film reviews and stuff like that, and trying to get back into like NFL centric stuff. So, and especially I'm gonna be doing. I hope I get to be able to do like a vlog, like a pre-recorded vlog that I can edit after the game, which I think will be a lot of fun. You guys can see what's going on, in that game because I'll be going to the Tampa game, and I'll probably. Are you gonna be live for that game?
Tampa? I
Yeah.
haven't decided yet. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was thinking I was just gonna take it off and just watch it on my own.
Oh, it's up to you, dude. It's up to you. If you do go live, I guess I'll pop in for like a halftime
I was
show.
about to
I
say, how
guess.
would you pop in?
Yeah, I'll pop in for like a halftime or something like that, and the game is back. I'll obviously leave. Um, but yeah, I guess some stuff comes to the channel soon, so you guys keep watch of that.
For sure, man. And that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to Tudo for his super chat Sunday for being in here. Edward, Big Blue News, Michael B, Bucks, Mark Primetime, Wild Child, Calvin was in here as well. Talking Sports with Landon, Authentic. Go over there, sub him up. Am I missing anybody? Yuvraj, Edward Chan, Eric. Shout out to everybody who was in here. The Ran, Chance Foster. That's gonna be it for now, guys. Ooh, sorry. Wow. I don't know if you guys heard that burp. And if Calvin says, bring your D and get that upset, pause, but I agree with you 100%. That's good D always wins. The D gotta be a brick wall now. But that's it for now, guys. We're out.